Alrighty guys, this is Snugs on Blitz, and I'm back with another video for you today. So I happened to see Martinator's top 5 worst tier 8 tanks, and I thought I would share my thoughts as well. People seem to love these top 5 kind of things, and my list is similar but not exactly the same, and I'll explain my reasoning why. First of all, in tier 8 there are a lot of tanks to choose from. You've got this one, the RU-251. It's a fun tank. It's not good for noobs because the armor is non-existent and its speed will actually get you in trouble. You'll end up drifting, especially at full speed. Now it does have a great HE and the pen is decent, but I think this is a tough tank to play. Does it make my list though? The answer is no. What about this tank, the Indian? It's definitely near the bottom, but it's okay. I mean, the turret's decent, maneuverability's decent. It's just nothing special. Again, not a tank I would recommend for new players. You see, the problem is in tier 8, there are so many strong tanks. Look at this, the Shark. Awesome tank. Great mobility, great armor, great turret, great gun. The Tiger, great armor, solid gun, decent mobility. It's a beast in tier 8. It can bully tier 7. What about this one? The Jag Tiger, 8 awesome DPM, great gun. Even the Kanonen, it's got great camo, good rate of fire. I mean, this gun is, like a laser. So all of these tanks can do certain things. But there are tanks that I think noobs will struggle mightily with. So coming in at number 5, I actually have this tank, the T25 Pilot. My goodness me, this tank stinks. Even with its recent buff, it's not enough. This gun does not threaten anybody. The turret armor is meh at best. You'd think as an American tank its gun depression would be good. It does have good gun depression, but that's about it. The mobility is meh. If it gets rushed on, you're going to get vaporized by pretty much every tank in the game. I think this is a very, very weak tank, and I can't imagine people actually paid money for this. I bought it for gold that I got from free events, and I picked it up during the auctions at 2.5k, I think. So I figured, what the hell? I'm a masochist. Anyway, moving on to number 4. We have this tank. Well, not this tank exactly. I don't even have it in my garage. It was available for an event, and it's pretty much a copy-paste of this, except everything is worse about it. Yes, you take a tank and make it worse in every possible way. I'm talking about the T44-100. It looks good. It's got that cool camo. But goodness me, give it something. Give it better speed than the T44. Give it a better gun. Give it better armor. Give it something, for goodness sake. It is just a downgrade on this tank in every imaginable way. So if you see it available, do not pick it up. Unless you're, like me, absolutely crazy. And even I didn't pick it up. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my number 4. Moving on to number 3. I'm gonna have to give it to the Ferdinand. Yes, I agree with Martinator. It is a rough tank to play. I've actually got pretty decent stats in it, and it used to be a beast back in the day. But its armor is just not useful in today's meta. The guns are just too strong. The heavies can rip right through it. Even mediums can do the damage with their gold shells. It's just not strong enough. Yes, it's got a good gun, but I think what really lets this down is its maneuverability. It's just slow, and so you get, circled to death half the time if you get left alone by your team. So you've got to stay with your team with this tank and hope you can put your gun to use. But really, Wargaming, give this, back some glory. This used to be the tier 8 armor tank, and now it's just a shell of its former self. So goodness sake, skip this one if you can. Take the J Panther instead. Coming in at number 2, it's not this tank. Yes, everybody seems to hate the STG, and I think it's a tough tank to play. It is cool looking, but that's about it. If it had a little more pen, I would give it to it, but I think this is far superior to the Pilot. It's much faster and agile, which allows you to get out of trouble. The pen stinks, so choose lightly armored targets at first. But yes, this is not my number 2. Coming in at number 2, it has to be the T28 Oh my goodness, this is the brother of the T95, the armored god of tier 9. But this tank is pretty much useless in most battles. Why? Because it's so slow. It has a good gun, but its armor really doesn't work, just like the Ferdinand. The difference is, I think the Ferdinand is a little bit higher up, which gives you more advantage to peek over ridges and hopefully get more bounces. This tank really has to get around. It has to be on flat surfaces. It's just a rough tank to play, and I would not recommend this. However, unlike the German tech tree, which allows you to skip the Ferdinand, if you want to get the T95 and the E3, you can't skip the T28, so you have to torture yourself with this tank. This tank was one of the worst tanks back in the day. It still stinks today. Come on, Wargaming, give it something more, give it better armor. Goodness me. But in first place, I have to give it to, drumroll please, I have to give it to the Panther 8.8. No, not this tank, but its gold counterpart. Boy, oh boy, I played this on my friend's account and it is such garbage. It has no redeeming features. The armor, meh. The gun, meh. The mobility, I mean, it's a medium, horrible as well. The tank instills no fear in your opponents, and it's absolutely worthless. What kills me is that 3 of the worst tanks in top tier 8 are actually gold tanks. People pay for them. That's crazy. On top of that, the Panther 8.8, the T28, and the Ferdinand have been around for ages, and yet they've gotten really no love. For years they've been neglected. So for goodness sake, Wargaming, do something. Anyway, I'll leave it there. What are your worst tier 8 tanks? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you next time. Snugs on Blitz, out.